Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, this is Josh Delgrange talking. I'm here to talk about what just happened in Chelsea, New York City last night and in New Jersey. There was a bombing in New York City. 29 people were injured. They're now out of the hospital. But here's what really grinds my bones. When the Democrat Party cannot say terrorism or an act of it, but call it intentionally. Then say, we need to wait for the facts to come out before we assume that it was a terrorist attack. This comes from Hillary Clinton, by the way. She said this in an interview, saying that we have to wait for the facts. But let's look at facts here. The most choice weapon that terrorists use around the globe is IEDs. Improvised explosive devices. It was a bomb. To say it's not a bomb is beyond any comprehension. My thoughts and prayers go out to the 29 that were injured last night. And what's unfathomable, what I can't wrap my head around is that the Democratic Party has no problem calling the NRA terrorist. Also, they have no problem saying Christians are radicals. That's a religion protected by the Constitution, the First Amendment. Well, what I can't get my head around is how inactually stupid people can be and say this is not an act of terrorism when it surely was. Our leaderships were going to be in New York. Imagine if Donald Trump was there and that bomb went off and it injured him or killed him. You don't want to take this threat seriously. You want to call it, well, it's not terrorism, but it was intentionally done. Well, of course, it was intentionally done. That means somebody planned this and had the idea to put it in New York City again. What are you going to say 9/11 wasn't a terrorist attack on America? Are you going to pretend that didn't happen? Are you going to pretend that what happened in Benghazi was not terrorist related? Where 4 Americans lost their lives that day. I'm speechless here, ladies and gentlemen. I really am. Because you can't tell me, and you're saying now, that we don't want to label Muslims for this act. No one said that. But if it's somebody with the name like Muhammad comes up and says, I'm responsible for what happened in New York, is that not a Muslim name? We got to think about it. There's two things we have to deal with. We have to deal with domestic terrorism and foreign, international terrorism. We have to deal with those two. You can't just change the wording to fit your means. You can't just say, well, it's not somebody out there doing this, because it is. I'm like I said, I'm shocked. I'm speechless. I'm stumped. I'm like thinking, are you kidding me? Not calling it like it is the single biggest problem that I see every day. When there's people out there wanting to kill us all, and you want to pretend that doesn't exist. I stated in my tweets that I don't care what religion you are. I respect all religion. But I do have a problem if you're aiming to kill me or millions of others. I have an issue with that. Like I said, are people this inactually stupid to understand the difference between a terror attack Something that's been probably planned for months, maybe even weeks, who knows. And I'll tell you what, it wouldn't surprise me if ISIS doesn't take claim to this responsibility, since they basically stated multiple times, ladies and gentlemen, that if you can't come to the caliphate, then do the most damage you can wherever you are. That means anywhere in the world. If you can't come to Syria, destroy, kill, and maim people. That's their goal in life, is to make sure that people are living in terror. But let me tell you something. Terrorism does exist, and IEDs are the most choice weapon that any act of terrorism, or act on terrorism, terrorists use, Part disruption here. But it's a simple fact. Our troops deal with roadside bombings on a daily basis. With IEDs. Weapon of choice. It's been proven multiple times. If you want to dismiss that. And you know what's sad? After what happened in Boston, with the Boston bombing, nowadays, if you try to look up the word pressure cooker, if you're thinking about buying a pressure cooker and you search it online, you're automatically labeled possible terrorist suspect. Thanks to evil people like this. So, yeah, we shouldn't live in terror, but we need to recognize when it is a terrorist act. And we need to call it out on the fact that it is terrorism. It's funny because the same people who says we need to wait for the facts to come out had no problem issuing a non-fact on the Ferguson case, automatically condemning law enforcement, automatically saying that it was an unprovoked attack. Put your hands up, because he was giving up, and that turned out to be a lie. Do we get an apology for that? No, we didn't. We didn't get an apology. Well, I've talked long enough about this. Click the like button. Share this with your friends. Share it on Facebook. Retweet it. Do whatever you want with this video. But the fact remains the same, that what happened last night was terrorism. And if you can't see that for what it is, then you are definitely blind. Alright, everyone have a good day. God bless. Be safe out there. Love you all.